Like, I guess if you're 22 and you are still in college and you haven't had a job, it kind of makes sense that you would be viewed as a college student and not an adult. And if you're 22 and you support yourself financially, I don't know why your parents wouldn't value your opinion. So I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to work through and paint this picture in my head.
So I will try to answer this just as I'm in a group of people that I am not speaking up in, which is a more general question, which may or may not apply here.
Okay.
So you're in a group of people, you're not being included in the conversation. I think it's to, number one, there's probably a handful of questions that will get thrown your way. How's college? How's this? Whatever. Like, it's not like you're a zero. And so it's going to be knocking those little ones out of the park. And what I mean by that is intriguing people with your answer.
Yeah, you don't just monologue for 10 minutes.
So if you're saying, oh, how's college going? You're like, it's good. It's pretty good. It's like, okay, well, you just kind of blew an opportunity to get a hook, versus if you know that your mother and father are interested in finances because they like to talk about stocks. You're like, it's good. I just joined this stock picking group. They've actually, I've actually made some money off it. Oh, really? Like, how much money did you make? So I don't know exactly what's going to be of interest to them, but it's identifying the sort of common questions that are asked in any particular sort of thing and finding a way to relate it back to what people care about briefly, which will cause them to ask you a question, which means that you can elaborate and share more of what you've been learning, find valuable about it, etc.
Yeah, you want to leave open loops, which is you want to leave unanswered questions that will create curiosity. So that's kind of calibrating to the audience, because what you don't want to do is just talk for 30 minutes because someone looked at you once, because then they won't look at you again because they don't want you to monologue for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But you also don't, just to your point, just want to say, oh yeah, it's good. So what you're trying to solve for is leaving interesting breadcrumbs out for them to voluntarily follow.
And the other thing is directing questions. So obviously conversation is going to go, and if they're championing it in the direction that they go, but you could say, hey, uncle, dad, mom, I wanted to ask you, I was thinking, this might be weird, but did you date a lot in college? Or did you ever blank in college? And you're relating it to, they could turn it around and include you in this sort of a conversation. So did you ever have any internships when you were in college? What were they like? Oh, that's interesting, because my boss just makes me get coffee the whole time. I feel like it's a waste of time. Or actually, no, mine, like I'm actually getting to write these things or whatever. So it's teeing people up for questions that you actually might be interested in because they might have something to say or teach you about, but that the flip side of which you can comment on. So that would be the broad two things. Make sure that you're not taking the chances that you are given to participate in lead conversation. And two, guide the topic to something that you naturally have more to share about via questions.
Yeah, and something you're kind of saying unspoken is also consider what's interesting to the people you're talking to. So if I'm talking to a bunch of people that don't like sports and I'm going on and on about the 76ers, they're going to hate that and want me to shut up.
Yeah.
So
I will say, like, when I go back to my family, it's funny, talk the least of not my extended family. When I'm in that group, I talk the least, and it's because my life is so different from everybody that they it just nothing, there's not a lot of hooks that are natural to my life with things that they're interested in. But I am okay with that, because I talk way too fucking much. I talk on this podcast, I talk all the time. So you can also, if you ever get to a point, you can just be like, cool, when I'm around this group of people, I'm a listener, I'm a learner. And it sounds like you don't like that, but just wanted to throw out that is an option, which I take with family sometimes.
Sure.
Cool. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.